Welcome back to another episode of Toxic and Weeb. He's Toxic, I'm the Weeb, and this is our podcast. You want to know what I used to do?
What?
I went around a couple times, sold chocolate bars door to door.
Mm-hmm.
Some dude gave me $20, right? He's like, don't put it in your pot. Like, just take it, it's a tip. I don't want chocolates. And I was like, all right. And my dumbass being like,
put it in the thing.
I put it in the pot because I was like, in my head this makes sense. I was like, it's a tip, so they'll just give it to me.
Yeah.
And this and that, I'll make more money.
No.
I made $17 that night. Those people were just as scummy as you were back then, just so you know.
Why?
Because they were like, yeah, you know, at the end of the night, like, you'll get your money or whatever, and they made it sound really promising. They were like, oh,
well that's just business.
Right? But at the end of the night, I made like $200.
Yeah.
I got $17 out of it.
Yeah,
and
that's
I was
your
like,
2%.
Yeah.
Or your 1%.
And I was sitting there and I was like, you're telling me I got to the back of a two-door Cavalier with my knees to my freaking chin.
Yeah.
And I have knee problems, right? Back then I couldn't jump without falling down on the ground because my knees were so bad. In the back of your two-door Cavalier for that so long that I started crying before I even had to walk.
Yeah.
And you guys gave me $17?
Mm-hmm.
I was a dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
I should have listened to that dude. Since then, you put money in my pocket or in my hand, it's going in my pocket.
Oh, 100%. But that's one thing about growing up in like a cutthroat, like metropolitan,
like industry type
based
thing,
like area in Mississauga, right?
Yeah.
Is like everything is like if you let your guard down for 1 second, you're gonna get walked all over.
Yeah,
right.
100%. That's something.
Even stuff like when I was in charge of construction sites as like a career that I did.
Yeah.
There was like one day where like somebody came to pick up skids, and I turned my back for 1 second, and half of the pile was gone.
Yeah.
Literally, half of the pile was. I had to be accountable for it, obviously, and that's just karma.
Yep.
But the point is, it happens.
Yeah. No, it's something that I've at least learned a little bit about growing up. Just not even in just in Oshawa.
Yeah.
Because obviously when I came to Canada, I was in Scarborough for a year and a bit, maybe 2 years.
Yep.
But I didn't need to learn anything back then because my parents took care of me, right?
Yeah.
I was always under their wing. I was sheltered. It was just go to school, you'll be taken care of, blah blah. Here, once I actually started to try and work and make my own money, I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm doing all this work and the payout does not seem to be where it's supposed to be.
No.
And eventually I figured out, you know what? Okay, fine. Like I know my worth. I know what skills I have, what I can do. And if you're not going to pay me the dollar value for what I'm doing, you're not getting it, period.
Obviously, 100%.
Right? But that's something that I had to figure out on my own because no one's going to tell you as a child, you know, you need to know your worth, whatever.
So that's one thing, like, I'll give my credit to my dad.
Yeah.
Is that he did shelter me, but what he doesn't know is that I didn't shelter myself.
Yeah.
Right? So I always let those opportunities come where it was very risk in the sense of, like, if I wanted to sell something, I could get scammed.
Yeah.
And I'll find out the hard way.
Yeah.
Right? Or if I wanted to buy something, I could get scammed online. Because back in the day, you were getting scammed a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I bought like thousands of dollars worth of computer stuff that I got scammed on.
Damn.
Right? As a kid.
Yeah.
Like 14, 13.
Yeah, I never had that.
Yeah. So, it's just a life experience. You learn it. You learn one way or the other.
Yeah. See, for me, it was like, I knew, kind of relatable because getting scammed and getting jumped are kind of two different things, but still the same, right?
Similar. Yeah.
Somebody sees an opportunity from you, and they're gonna take it whether you want to or not, right? So for me, it was I knew that if I had expensive stuff that I enjoyed, I knew not to take it outside because I would get robbed. And
there's always that thought.
Yeah. So whenever I got something new, it was like, all right, cool. I have this new iPod or whatever. I want to listen to music while I take the bus. But nobody's going to see that it's an iPod. It's in my pocket at all times. And then, unfortunately, I still got robbed a few times. But it was like, hey, whatever. You live and you learn, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then all of a sudden, I didn't look like I weighed 100 pounds soaking wet. And people were like, let's not talk to that guy. And I was like, perfect.
We obviously didn't grow up, in the nicest area.
Yeah.
When I was a kid. We grew up in Hamilton, which is a really shitty city, if you think about it, at the end of the day. And in low-income housing. So my dad spent, I think it was $30. The most expensive he's ever paid for a bicycle for me, by the way.
Dope.
So this means a lot to him, and it means a lot to me. And it got stolen. That's just a lesson learned. Don't leave your shit outside. I left it outside, it got stolen.
Bro, you know how... Okay.
And then, hold on, but the thing is, I did find out who took it, and I kicked him off the bike so hard that apparently he broke his jaw
Sick.
when it hit a car that I kicked him onto. No, but and then cops were like,
yeah, I had to get involved.
Got involved because like he went to his parents. I got the bike back.
But he played. Let me guess. He played
the victim card, right? And I still got in trouble for that.
Yeah,
so it is what it is. Like some bad shit happens to good people all the time.
All the time. And like speaking of bikes being stolen, I've had a couple bikes stolen from me, but also that's kind of karma because I've stolen a lot of bikes. I'll admit that right here. I don't.
We've all
care.
done stupid shit as kids.
Yeah, but like this one really sucked because there was a guy on my street and he had this really sick like bike. I forget the name. It was either Diamondback or Dino or something. But it was like orange. It was dope. I wanted it. He was like way older than me. I saw him doing tricks on it. I was like, I want to be like that guy. Well, I guess they were moving out or something, and I was like, hey man, like, what are you doing with your bike? He's like, you want it? I was like, yeah, and he gave it to me, and I was like, sick, like,
cool.
My first kind of bike that's my own, I can keep it. Well, one day after school, there was like an after school project or whatever. My parents like, no, you can't go to school after school. I was like, that's kind of dumb. I don't know why you would tell me no, but all right, fine. I snuck out. I left my house. I took my bike to school. Forgot that, hey, if you want your bike to be secure, you need a lock. Didn't have one. I put it inside the school. Still got stolen. Stolen, and I had to walk my ass home. And then let me tell you, because I had to be home at a specific time. Well, in class, assuming my bike's still there, I didn't leave until because I know I can bike home in 10 minutes. Not expecting to have to walk. Walk home, which took like an hour and a half. So now I'm late. My parents are like, "Where are you?" And it's like, "I just lost track of time. Where's your bike? Don't worry about it." You have to come up with some sort of excuse, and it's like, well, shit, because now you didn't listen to your parents. You have consequences that you don't want to tell them, and you know being a 90s kid, they're going to rub it in your face.
Oh, 100%. It's a bit of a catch-22, because if you listen to them, you don't necessarily see the bad side of the world.
You just get sheltered more.
You get a little sheltered more.
You don't learn anything.
For people who are able to acknowledge, like, the reality of the situation without experiencing it, I'm envious of you.
Same.
But at the same time, like going back. Okay, if you could go back in your life, okay, to any specific point, would you change any of it?
No.
No?
No.
I would.
Why?
I would change all of the bad interactions I had with my family growing up, because I was too stubborn to realize what they were trying to protect me from.
Right, but so here's the reason why I wouldn't change anything. Is because I'm content with who I've turned into. Right?
Yeah.
And let's say if I was to go back and take away all of the bad interactions that I've had with my family, there is a very big chance that I wouldn't end up the way I am today. And whether that means I end up good or bad.
Like you go back knowing what you know now.
What I know now?
Yeah.
And the outcome is still the same when you go back?
Not necessarily, but you still have the knowledge. Because that's a big factor of who you are.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You have the world knowledge that you've experienced. That's why I would change the bad interactions.
I would only change one bad interaction that I've had with my family.
Yeah?
Yeah. Only one. And that's because there was a shirt that got destroyed in that altercation. But also at the same time, like, obviously hindsight's 20/20, right? But like I got into a fight with my dad, and thinking about it now, because my dad's gone, like he's passed away, it's like, you know what, instead of us in the kitchen holding each other by the scruff and like fighting. Fists ready, I'd go back and be like, I love you, man. Like that's it. That's the one thing I would change, because like it's a little bit regrettable.
100 exactly. 100 that's why I would change like basically every single bad interaction I have with my family. Because for me the generational gap is huge. Like my sister's 9 years older than me, my brother's 10 years older than me. Right? So they grew up in a very different generation, and they already experienced everything that they're trying to help me avoid.
They're trying to help you out.
They're just trying to help me out.
Just being
but you don't realize that until you're like, it's too late. Because those problems and that animosity and that emotional stress was already created, and you had to put it aside. Don't get me wrong, like I forgave all of it. And they have too, but it could have been avoided in that sense.
But would you have technically learned your lesson?
I mean, going back knowing what you know, like you would. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. But like if you could go back and you were just like in the moment, and you like, let's say, how am I gonna word this? I have to get my thoughts straight, figure it out. But like, let's let's say you go back. Obviously, like, you have this conversation, you know this conversation, but you don't know the shit that's led up to it, right?
Yeah.
So you go back and you're like, okay, I'm obviously here to change this.
Mm-hmm.
I lost it. I don't even know what I was saying. I'm gone. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. Welcome back to Toxic and Weeb. This is what we don't know. So what's up? No, I don't know what I was getting at, but it was like, I don't know. I feel like if you go back, you're gonna know what you know. Because if you go back not knowing what you know now, you're just gonna repeat the things that happened already. Because the outcome's gonna be the same.
No, so that's the point. Like, a lot of people say they wouldn't change a single thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't believe that's necessarily true at all for any specific person. I think every single person still holds on to some piece of regret.
Yeah.
But not in a bad way. Just in a way where if they had the opportunity to change it for the better, they would.
Yeah.
Right? That's all my point is.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
even if it was something small and insignificant, but they like, kind of feel bad about it a little bit.
Like you could have yelled at a random stranger.
Yeah. Or I wish I didn't kick that dog.
Don't kick dogs.
Don't do that.
I'll kick you.
Yeah.
Don't kick dogs.
He's the brown John Wick of the century, so what's
Straight up. Yo, you hurt a dog? Bro.
I'm coming at you with a stick, bro.
I'm catching a felony.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that one. Let's not, ain't nobody catching felonies here. Well, I mean, maybe. If I think about it hard long enough.
Wow.
Yeah, you know.
Catch these hands.
No. I don't want to. Yeah. No.
Don't kick dogs.
There's, okay, so if I'm being honest, there's a lot of things that I would go back and change. About, like, my life in general.
Yeah.
But, like, I wouldn't want to, simply because I enjoy who I am at this moment. And there's no, if I go back and change at least, like, even just one thing, there's no guarantee that I would end up who I am, right?
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know, I wouldn't want to be, like, the things that I understand in my mind right now, I wouldn't want those things to disappear. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want to just be even more naive about things than I already am.
Or what if you're less?
Less what?
What if you turn out to be less naive and more exposed to the reality of the situations?
Would I enjoy it?
Maybe you would.
Would I?
Maybe. I don't know. That's the beauty.
The point.
That's the beauty of being able to go back and change anything you want.
Yeah, but what if you go back expecting to be better than what you are now, and then you come back?
Then you're already flawed because you're having
shit.
No, because you're going into a situation with a set expectation, kind of like a relationship. If you expect specific things that aren't like fundamental, then you're selfishly dooming yourself, right?
It's like I've said this a lot this week, but for whatever reason now I can't think of it. This is how my brain works. Welcome.
So if you go back and change something for the selfish benefit, then you're probably dooming yourself. Whereas I would go back for the overall benefit, or the intent to have the overall benefit of having less emotional stress growing up, for not just me, but also everybody I ever had a bad interaction with.
I'm not gonna lie to you. My brain shut off during that whole thing. I could hear the words you were saying, but my brain was like, bing bong. Like, it's just, we're out, that's it. Like, there's nothing. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I apologize, but it does happen.
Shit happens.
It's like, I'm just not here at the moment. But I am. You want to say something?
No.
Alright.
I'm just enjoying this. This is funny.
This is literally how my everyday goes. I'm like, I'm physically here. This is why I didn't do so good in school, by the way, because the teacher would be like, okay, take notes. And I'm like, all right, let's take notes. And then he'll be like, and I'm like, what's that? And it's gone. That's it. They'd be like, does anybody have any questions? I would put my hand up, and they'd be like, if they called on me, I would be like, what? Like, oh, like, what are you doing up there? Yeah. Like, I didn't intentionally, like, I didn't have a question, but for some reason, my body was like, ask a question. Doesn't matter what it is.
We know why I failed in school.
You have to show up to pass.
I was busy selling CDs.
and signing people up for things that they don't know about.
And getting, and getting subscriptions for the newspaper. And getting paid for my co-op that my school didn't know about. I was busy making money.
We're just exposing ourselves straight up right now.
I don't care.
Neither do I.
I don't give a shit. Like,
nope.
Nah, man.
Nah.
Pure scumbag.
Which is fine, because, I mean, technically being a scumbag helps you understand that you...
But
if you do or don't want to be one.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, scumbag on a... Not, like, in a bad way. Like, yeah, okay, sure, I may have, like...
Like, scumbag in a selfish way? Type thing? Like, I'm gonna find a way to benefit?
Yeah, but, like, still relatively innocent.
An innocent scumbag.
Like, I'm not putting people into mass debt.
Well, yeah, you're not,
you know what
like...
I mean? I'm not robbing them.
You're not taking their retirement plan and spending it on something. You're just like, hey, I'm taking $20.
Like, by the way, this subscription was like $9 for 3 months.
Okay, but
you can afford the $9 for 3 months.
What was the minimum wage back then?
Like $5.
You just stole, like, what, 2 hours of somebody's work?
For 3 months. I think they could afford that.
You never know, man. You never know. But I understand your point.
Here's the thing, though. I'm pretty sure they could have canceled. The whole point is, like, it's commission-based.
Yeah.
Right?
So you
gotta play the game. So they can cancel within those 3 months. I don't get the commission. I have to pay it back. But I already left with the money. Right? So at the end of the day, it's just like a game of debt. And which corporation gets it at the end of the day?
Yeah, you know what? I'm okay
because it's a corporation. If I was putting people into debt, like homeowners or like families and stuff, then obviously I wouldn't do it. But I understood that.
Yeah.
Right.
So for me, it's like if you're stealing from like people, you're a dirtbag. If you're stealing from corporations or companies who literally are stealing from the people, you're like a Robin Hood, bro. Go ahead, steal it.
To an extent, because so. When we were kids, sure, that logic applied quite a bit. Nowadays, not so much. Because you could be working for a very small business.
Okay.
That could be very corporate and you not realize it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
Like, for example, like one specific job that I can refer, we had an employee count of 6. Yet it was still a multi-million-dollar company.
Yeah.
But if any of us stole from each other or somebody stole from us, even the smallest amount, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So in that sense, it's hard. It's almost harder these days to figure out whether you're Robin Hood or whether you're just a thief.
Yeah.
Because you don't really know as much these days.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was pretty clear cut. Like, this is a multi-billion-dollar like live TV like service provider, whoever.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like you don't know if it's a small local business that you're exploiting.
Which technically comes back to like do your research, right?
Oh, 100%.
P.S. We are not telling you how to do stuff, but it does come back to do your research, which is why like you do research before you are knowledgeable in certain things. I am not. I go to work. I do my own thing. I make my own money, my honest way. Don't think I've ever done that.
I doubt it.
Which is like...
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, so it's like... it kind of explains a lot, right?
I also don't involve anybody in my own shit.
Which is good, because I know a lot of people that have tried to involve me in their shit. I've clued in very quickly and been like, yo, I'm out, dog.
Nah, I don't do pyramid schemes. Like, if there's self-benefit in it for me, then I'm doing it by myself. And the only time I'm going to involve somebody else if it's a legitimate profit through a legitimate business, through a legitimate way.
Yeah.
Right?
I question everything. If somebody approached me with like a business plan or like an opportunity,
always question everything. Every single thing possibly.
Which is even with you.
Yep.
You came to me with a specific opportunity at one point, and I was like, okay. At first I was like, no. But then I was like, all right, how about this? You show me cold hard facts and proof and this and that and dollar values of certain things, I will think about it. Because that still wasn't a definite yes.
No.
And that's...
I'm still working on it, which is fine.
Yeah, and that's basically how I still live my life. It's just, I'll question everything. Because I have a lot of trust issues now. Oh my god.
It's not even that I have a lot of trust issues, it's just like, sure, something could sound great, but like, what's in it for me?
Yeah.
Right?
Not only that, but things can look good on paper, but the execution could be absolute shit.
Yeah.
And everything could go downhill.
Yeah. So.
Man.
And that's the issue that I see the most these days is a lack of patience.
Yeah. Well, yeah, everybody wants the
quick
end
dollar.
game. The end game, the quick dollar.
Yeah.
They want the value of something, but they don't want to put in the work for it.
Yeah, like I have the utmost patience for like almost anything these days.
Yeah, I can't say the same for myself.
No?
I think I'm part of the demographic. Like not necessarily, because like I obviously have goals, the things that I want, and I can be patient for it, but only to a certain extent. Like, for example, let's say I'm trying to buy a house, right, and I'm doing something to earn money or a dollar value of some sort to put into this. I now have an expectation because I've done a little bit of math and I'm like, okay, if I do this for this amount of time, then technically I'll have enough by this time. Now, let's say, because things always go south, right? So let's say it was like...
Do they though?
Well, not always, but like things tend to go south for me anyways.
Okay.
But for specific reasons that are my own fault. So let's say my goal was 10 years, I'm going to own this house or this value of a house or whatever. And all of a sudden... I get ADHD moment. I'm like, ooh, car. And I go buy this car. I am now the car value amount behind my goal. And I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, well, that's an extra 2 months now.
Okay.
Or something happens. Houses are hella expensive now. And the dollar value, let's say it was like $250,000 for this house.
Now it's $1 million.
Now it's $1 million or $700,000. And it's like, okay, well, I'm shit out of luck. Because I can keep doing the same thing. But because it's now even further out of my reach, it's like you kind of just want to give up. You're like, I could keep doing this and I can get what I want, or I can take whatever I have now and buy this other thing that'll make me feel happy and good and kind of whatever about it for a couple months. But then again, I'll be like, hey, still don't have anywhere to live. Shit. And then I gotta start over from the beginning. Why are you smiling? I don't like this.
Because you're a weeb.
Yes, Daddy.
No, man, it's like the movie Moneyball. Adapt or die.
Yeah, I'll die. I'll die.
Don't die. Just adapt.
See, this is my other problem, because adapt or die, like, straight up, I just said I'll die. But here's the thing, right? Because from what, like, me personally, I've noticed about myself is I do adapt very well and decently quickly.
Yeah.
Like I've gone from being secure in my life, having a job, having a place to live, this and that, and within the next week, I'm homeless on the streets. Like, I've had that happen to me, like, 3 times.
Okay.
And every single time, it's like, okay, I've had to adapt. Now, that hasn't happened in a very long time, because I've also realized at one point, like, I don't want that to do that again.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want it to happen. So now I've changed.
I've lived in my car.
Yeah. That's one of the times, right? Because we were both in a situation together. But it's like... or even like starting a new job, for example. Like I've never worked in the job that we work in now.
Yeah.
And within, I want to say the first 2 weeks, I was adapt. That was it. It was like figure it out and figure it out fast and then become good at it.
See, that's what my life has always been.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. I guess I have a problem with like, thinking about that on a bigger scale.
Okay.
Right. So it's like small things. Sure. Yeah. Or like, I don't know, moving from Cape Town to Canada. Adapt. This is a very big one for me, because, and it's again big thing, but like small, whatever. So my accent, right, moving from Cape Town to here, my accent was something that I needed to overcome and adapt. I had to adapt to the Canadian accent because kids at school were picking on me, making fun of me for it.
Yeah.
2 weeks. It took me 2 weeks, and I had a full blown Canadian accent, lost my South African accent, all of it.
Okay.
I regret the shit out of that, let me tell you. I regret it. Yeah, I wish I had 100%. My accent. Because growing up, people were like, yo, that's a hot accent. I'm like, excuse me, what the fuck did you just say? Like, that? You think that's good? Damn it! Like, god damn it! Why did I conform to this shit? Like, it makes me upset.
Exactly. But that's why I always promote uniqueness. Yeah. Like, when it comes to, like the weirdest ideas...
You're down.
I'm down.
You son of a bitch.
It's like, no, exactly. Because it's like, yo, this is like so anti-norm. Let's just see what happens. I don't care if it fails. Like, you do it for the experience, not for the outcome necessarily.
You freaking hipster.
Right? Why?
What?
How's that hipster?
Because it's not mainstream.
So?
It's like hipster.
That's not hipster.
It's kind of hipster.
Don't label it.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Why? It is what it is.
No, I won't. I won't label it. It's fine. But yeah.
Because there's nothing hip about me.
Yeah, because the one you have is busted.
Exactly. My sciatic says no hip.
Yeah. That's it for this episode of Toxic and Weeb. Make sure you guys like the videos, subscribe. Also, if you're into automotive content, we have another channel, Built Retro Garage. I'll say it again because I kind of stuttered. Yeah, make sure you check us out. If you like those videos, give us a like, give us a subscribe. YouTube, Instagram, and yeah.
It helps the algorithm out quite a bit.
Yeah.
So we appreciate it.
Yeah. Every like, every comment, every subscribe. You know, if you like our stuff, just communicate with us. It's great. We'll listen sometimes.
I'll see you next time.
Bye. Cool.
Weeb.
Bro, you're toxic. Even just here.